Well, good morning. Turn my light. Oh, there it is. All right. Good morning. Thank y'all for coming out early this morning. We're going to go ahead and get started. And before we get started, Chairman Stevens, will you open us up in a word of prayer?
Please. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Dear Lord, bless this day. Give us your wisdom, your guidance, and your everyday thought. Give us the light that we can see through this end of this long tunnel. Carry us all the way to Wednesday of next week and beyond. Bless our families and place your hand on us. All these things we ask. Amen.
Amen. All right. Well, we have one piece of legislation in front of us today, House Resolution 488. And Chairman Meeks, you are here to present your bill, and we're going to turn it over to you.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. Appreciate the opportunity to bring before you today House Resolution 488, LC 550060. If there ever is a simple bill, this is it, or a simple resolution. It reauthorizes the Rural Development Council for the biennium for the next 2 years. As many of you know, when we've done a tremendous job, the council has over the past couple of years of moving around the state, visiting rural parts of our state to address issues economically around the state. Governor Kemp has made it an effort, and with the economic development projects around our state being outside Metro Atlanta, we've had some good success. But there are many other issues that we need to take a look at, and the Rural Development Council is the next organization to do that. So, Mr. Chairman, I'm happy to answer any questions, but with that, I will yield for questions.
All right, and we do have a question. Rep. Chairman Bonner.
Hey, thank you, Representative, for bringing the resolution. Can you highlight for us just some of the successes of this council in terms of legislation or some proposals that have been brought forward?
Oh Lord, Mr. Bonner, there have been numerous pieces of legislation that have come forward. Some of it is focused around health care. Some of it is focused around economic development and really trying to address some of the issues in communities around our state as we need to address in order to attract businesses to those areas.
And is there, just a question, is there any reason to continue to just reauthorize this every couple of years, or is this something that we would benefit as a state from having it maybe as a permanent part of the infrastructure?
I think that's up for debate. Given the work that it's done over the past couple of years with previous members and general assemblies, it may be something at some point that just becomes permanent. But at this point, I think it's one of those things that's, if we can get it reauthorized for another 2 years, continue to look around the state and see how the council can best serve rural Georgia and bring proposals to the General Assembly to work through. Maybe at some point permanent, but right now we'd like to go ahead and get it reauthorized for another 2 years.
All right. Representative Burnell.
I'm sorry. 11.
Oh.
I did. I have this button right here. I have this button, but no mic right here. No mic. Speaking right here.
All right, there you go.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I'm Representative Gladney from the 130th District in Augusta, Georgia. So can you explain to me, how does this differ from, or if it is like Opportunity Zone or Enterprise Zone? Is it exactly the same, or how does this work?
The Rural Development Council is appointed by the Speaker. There are two co-chairs, and they move around the state. At the inception of this particular council, it was directed that none of the meetings would take place within the Metro Atlanta, that we would get out across the state, take it to look at the needs in communities, workforce development, and other things that we could do, healthcare and other issues that we could take a look at in those communities to really help out those areas and building the needs to be successful in rural Georgia. I'm familiar with the economic zones. This is not this is, the only zone that this is in rural Georgia. We move around the state. I know the last couple of years they've met in North Georgia, they've met in South Georgia. I think the last meeting that was held over in Americus in Sumter County, there at the college. So it moves around the state and really works to address issues across rural Georgia and all areas.
Could I ask one more
Yes, ma'am.
question? So what specific entity within our structure gives the specifics about, what areas in our district qualifies classifications for, those areas that have deficiencies in terms of healthcare access and infrastructure?
The members of the council make that decision.
The members in this council?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Thank you very
Yes,
much.
yes, ma'am.
Thank you. All right, Chairman Stevens.
Chairman Meeks, isn't it true that the Rural Development Council has gone all over the state and we've tackled issues like broadband and timber and farming and even things that relate to the ports, since it basically is anything that's outside the purview of the city limits of Atlanta?
You are absolutely right, correct, Mr. Chairman.
And I think that the very first bill that I voted on was in this committee 4 years ago, and it was the bill that authorized the EMCs to get into broadband, and I believe that was a recommendation from the Rural Development Council.
By the late, great Jay Powell.
This group has done great work, and all of their meetings are archived, and their recommendations are archived on our website. If you go to the House website, you can look back at that and see the work that they've done, and it really has been good for rural Georgia.
All right.
All right, with that, I don't see any other questions. So at this time, I'm happy to entertain a motion. All right, we have a motion from Representative Smith and second from Representative Yurda. And at this point, all in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Chairman Meeks, you can make your way on to rules. Well, at this point, that's it. Chairman, you want to?
Next week, we're going to have an opportunity, if the people so decide on the committee, if we want to meet either Tuesday, the day before our last day, possibly in the afternoon, if you're going to be here anyway, to maybe hear from some folks from either the ports or what's happening around the state economic development wise. And there's a lot that's going on, so I'll leave it up to the committee. If y'all want to do that, we'll maybe bring in a lunch so that you don't have to hurry up, and do something maybe next week on a Tuesday, and I'll later date to come. And so anything that you'd like to hear from on a specific area, let me know. Yeah.
I think, Mr. Chairman, I think the ports will be great, but we have two new members that are sitting here, and that we may want to look at something from one of their areas so they can better see what this committee is all about and is doing, and help them get up to stuff.
Love to, and I think in your area down here, you're going to have the Masters coming in the next few days that is going to totally change the state. Have spotlight from Absolutely. Yeah, is everybody got? You have our ticket. So raise your hand if you need tickets. And introduce yourself, if you will. You're number 7.
I'm Ann Allen Westbrook from Savannah. Nice to see y'all.
Holt, what number are you?
Holt Persinger, District 119, Winder, Bear County.
Good. Well, thank y'all. I'll give you some later data as Becky, nice to have you. We voted it out. Yeah, we voted it out, and we're introducing our new members on the committee. So the ones that wake up so early. And by the way, we do have early meetings, I guess y'all can tell, whenever we meet. But Tuesday of next week, I'll try to get us some interesting speakers, and we'll bring in some lunch. So, Mr. Chairman, it's
Sounds
up to
good.
you.
All right. At this point, we'll adjourn.
Thank y'all.